Young and untested, Optimus Primal was a mere captain of an exploration ship when he and his crew were diverted off the course to pursue a stolen Predacon ship under the leadership of Megatron. Optimus Primal is committed to the Maximal Code of Honor and moral judgment. He is eternally loyal to his friends and respectful to his enemies. He is brave and selfless in battle. However, he is committed to helping others, which can withdraw him into a deep depression when he feels he has let them down. Optimus Primal is extraordinary for not being able to distinguish himself, despite living in the shadows of Optimus Prime. Optimus Primal may have even surpassed the greatest of the Autobots, as he has saved the life namesake and assured a new Technorganic Cybertron. It is possible that Optimus Primal could be the greatest Cybertronian hero who ever lived. Optimus Primal, Beast Wars cartoon. Optimus Primal was a Maximal officer who commanded the Axelon, where he received alert about a Predacon ship. He and the Axelons pursue through a transportal, eventually ending up on a primitive planet. He and the Maximal crew scan the beast modes in battle of Megatron's criminal band of the Predacons, in which the Maximals dubbed in to name it Beast Wars. The two forces became embroiled with the experiments by the mysterious Vogue. Primal gave his life to stop the destruction of the Maximals by the alien Planet Busters. The planet was revealed to be on Earth in the past. Optimus Primal was soon reborn as a transmetal body and was later granted a more powerful body after taking Optimus Prime's spark into his body to foil Megatron's plans to change the course of history. Megatron freed himself as he arrived in Cybertron before the Maximals. They found the planet to be conquered by Megatron. They soon met the Oracle, who remorphed the Maximals into a technorganic forms and entrusted Optimus Primal with the task, evolution of the planet and the species in the Technorganic. Optimus Primal was able to free Cybertron from Megatron's reign and bring a new age of hope for Cybertron. When Unicron instigated the Universal Wars, Primus resurrected Optimus Primal to act as the leader of the Children of Primus. Well into the war efforts, Unicron disappeared and Optimus Primal's fate was left unknown. Transformers Beast Wars, Transmetal, N64. The Beast Wars seemed over, but the captured Megatron had prepared in such a situation was able to send a message to a cell pass via transport, causing history to be alerted. These rewritten Beast Wars came to the end when Optimus led a final strike against the Predacon forces. The battle was hard fought, resulting in tragic casualties for both sides, but ended with Megatron's capture. After Megatron was secured and outside of the Autobots' escape shuttle, the remaining Maximals were able to set their ways and return to Cybertron. Unfortunately, they captured Megatron and prepared for such a situation was able to send a message in the past, causing history to be altered and rewritten. These rewritten Beast Wars came from the end of Optimus. Optimus Primal, Beast Machine cartoon. Seemingly minutes after the Cephalid departed from a trans-warp space, Optimus Primal suddenly found himself back in his original organic gorilla body and thrust into a dangerous situation onto an eerily deserted Cybertron. Unfamiliar of how he arrived and pursued by any armies of tank drones, unable to transform, he was forced to flee in his ape mode and began experiencing visions, which led to him one by one to Rat Trap, Cheetor, and Black Ricina, before leading him to the chambers deep within Cybertron, the access point for the powerful and ancient legendary Oracle, as the three Maximals watched Primal enter into the bowels of the computer. Within, he was granted a vision where he could not yet comprehend, including a pre-existing statement that the seeds of the future lie buried in with the past, reformatted by the Oracle. Primal emerged into a new technorganic beast mode and urged the other dying Maximals to complete their reformatting as well. Primal plunged into a deep pit, but as he fell, was able to master the art of transformation and reign into his robot mode. Flying out, Primal grabbed the nearest drone and demanded answers, but lost his concentration, causing him to retreat to beast mode. Primal began to teach the three other Maximals of the art of transformation, which was mastered by achieving the inner calmness and finding it the spiritual centers of the one soul. Though Cheetor and Black Arcana were successful right off the bat, Rat Trap was unable to transform to all these. The search for the answers would lead them to the Council of Citadan, where Optimus encouraged the masterminds behind the empty Cybertron, Megatron. Megatron claimed that he united Cybertron into one identified machine controlled by his mind and purged the beast for himself. Recovering quickly, Megatron gloated as he had gone away for millions of years of the Transformers inhabiting the planet, and Optimus demanded to know what he had done with them all. Primal had been dragged into a physical from the Citadel by the Maximals, yelling at Megatron's name as he went. Later, Optimus told the others that he blamed for his failures to stop Megatron for the downfall of Cybertron. Investigating the Cybertron archives revealed that they had been erased clean. Optimus was so furious, he single-handedly trashed the entire tanks of drones, and later, his troops for their poor performance in combat. When Rat Trap and Black Arcana risked their own lives to consulting the logs of the shuttle that arrived on, only to be attacked by Megatron's new Viacon generals, the Maximals discovered that somehow they had survived Megatron's wide purge. A Maximal named Nightscream, who had seemed to be suffering from the same transformation-lock virus that the Maximals had upon themselves. Nightscream had led them to an underground tree, and he had been living off of. Optimus told the other Maximals that they should eat fruit, but the fruit had caused the bees to instruct and overtake them. Complicating things, Jetstar picked the moment to attack. The Maximals had snapped out when Cheetor discovered the tree. Following the battle, Primal showed a new talented grade by the Oracle. reformatting Nightscream into a new Technorganic body. Optimus was critical and weakened by the effort and requested over-eager Cheetor to command in his absence. Soon the Viacons would arrive and a battle would begin. The other Maximals became separated from Black Arcanas and were forced to search for her, even as it became obvious that the factory that they were in was on the verge of exploding. After they found her, Optimus froze at the sight of the desparked bodies, anguished that he allowed Megatron to do. Black Arcana revealed that the Viacon General contained the spark of their missing comrades. Optimus began increasingly withdraw, demanding that the Maximals leave him alone and spending time on his own with the Oracle. Confused by what the Oracle was showing him, he nothing less persevered and was rewarded with meeting Rhinox in a vision. Unfortunately, their talk did not go well. Rhinox sided with Megatron's idea of a technological Cybertron, and openly hostile to the idea of reintroducing the organics. Optimus awoke and rejoined his fellow Maximals, only to find the same thing that Optimus had. Their old friends had changed. Primal confided to the others that the true mission which had the Oracle intended for them was to carry out, to make Cybertron wholly organic once more. While they were in search of the fruit, Nightscream had originally led them to the Maximals, attacked by the Viacon, and Nightscream was kidnapped. During the rescue, Nightscream discovered that the cave line of fossils, and Primal realized Optimus and Cheetor would continue to butt heads over the course of the action and which route they should take. The discovery of the green glow from Cybertron's core, which caused the planets to sprout and grow. Optimus' opinion they should concentrate on restoring the organic to the planet. When an attack by Tanktor left Nightscream in a technomatic state, more disagreement over the proper course of the action was ensured. They eventually stole the Night Drone in a great risk, and Optimus was able to guide in downwards, unleashing the torrent of green goo and cured everyone of their wound. Following the victory, Cheetor told Optimus that he refused to be treated like a kid anymore, but grudgingly accepted Optimus' leadership. Believing Tanktor was dead, the Maximals were finally able to hold off a memorial from Rhinox. Tanktor, however, still functioned and plotted to have Megatron use the key to Vector Sigma to purge the organic life from Cybertron. The quick work by Optimus saved the Orchard, and even Cheetor before breaking the news that he believed the Oracle was tampered with. Despite the apparent tampering, Optimus continued to follow the Oracle's vision, leading the Maximals to the Plasma Energy Chamber. The Oracle had bestowed on Optimus the power to open the chamber. However, Cheetor managed to talk him out of it, opening the chamber outright, and the Maximals set out finding a way to detect the keys instead. Rat Trap, hacking into Megatron's computer, was disabled by Tanktor. Optimus sensed something was wrong and rushed to confront Megatron directly. As the pair fought, Megatron revealed the defeat of the Maximals, but Optimus would yield, attempted to reformat the opponent. Tanktor arrived in time to use the key and turn Optimus into a tech medic, lecturing the Maximals on sporty behavior, only to be captured by Megatron, who took the opportunity to gloat over Optimus. In desperation, the Maximals leader finally opened the Plasma Energy Chamber. At the same time, Megatron ordered the tank drones to fire the key. The energies released creating the planet Storm. Optimus began to crumble before his eyes. Though his body was destroyed, Primal's spirit was transported into the Matrix. Meanwhile, the other Maximals journeyed downwards once more, speaking to Optimus via the Oracle. Primal refused to lead the Maximals, asking them only for their forgiveness, but they merely told him there was nothing to forgive. Without his guidance, they had never made it this far. Preparing to become one with the Allspark, Optimus realized his mistake. As he chose his life, it was returned to the other Maximals. The Oracle granted him a passing of the greatest test, a forest of technoganic trees spreading out from the chambers around the Maximals as the Oracle vanished. Believing that their next test would be found the missing spark, the Maximals headed to the Council of Citadel, only for a giant head, with the likeliness of Megatron to hove into the view, but received only confused images which didn't even come from a sentient mind. Meanwhile, the Maximals had discovered two more beings roaming in the cities, an intelligent and sensitive wolf named Noble, and a bestial dragon named Savage. With Primal's help, they trapped Savage, only to discover that Savage were one and the same. A transformer with two beast modes. Optimus vowed to do all he could do to help their new friends. After using a spark of himself, Megatron took control of the giant floating head, reactivating the drone's armies and forcing the Maximals underground. While rescuing Nightscream, who had gone to try to find Noble, Optimus and Cheetor were pulled in the floating heads of the tractor beam. Megatron demanded information of the Oracle, attempting to take it from the Force, but they were rescued by Silverbolt, who was reformatted by Jetstream. Though the Maximals were happy to have Silverbolt back, Optimus was reminded of the loss of Rhinox. Megatron would release a variation of the hate plague on them, infecting all the Maximals but Optimus, who was scooped up by Megatron's floating head. Seeing his Maximals furiously fighting, Optimus returned to them and tried to help them with their anger, only to be infected himself. Still, with this help, the Maximals were able to overcome the evil infection of the virus. Despite their success and teamwork, Primal believed that the virus had only been magnified existing tensions within the group. When an extraterrestrial shuttle crashed into Cybertron, Optimus led the Maximals towards the site. The team was attacked by a strange planet creature who had headed for the Orchard. Following there, Optimus reformatted his creature into a technorganic planet. The planet introduced itself Botanica. As a fellow Maximal scientist, that he only had one problem with the orchard, and that was the incorrection of lightning. Optimus' depression about the location of the missing sparks were interrupted by the vision that something was missing. In fact, Megatron had taken the 2 sparks and created 2 new Predacon generals, Obsidian and Strika. The timely intervention of Botanica allowed the Maximals to escape, but Optimus vowed not to let Megatron violate any more sparks. The strike and other vision led Optimus to believe that the sparks were being moved. He and Nightscream ventured deep underground to the lost great city of Icon. There, Optimus encountered a giant hologram of Optimus Prime. However, he turned out to be the trick part of Megatron. As Prime will reveal later, he allowed it to happen so that he could access Megatron's systems to find out the location of the missing spark. The Maximals and Filter that Megatron's giant head finally found the lost sparks. They found themselves bound metal as Megatron's sparks began consuming their prize. When Megatron killed Noble, Nightscream was moved to turn to a sonic attack on Megatron, stopping their foes as he was on the verge from ripping the sparks from the Maximal's body. Megatron thus was defeated. Rat Trap managed to switch the plummeting Grand Mail to manual control, allowing Optimus to halt to his decision. The Maximals later held a memorial for the Noble Primal, gave him an honorable ceremony. The Maximals celebrated with Megatron's defeat, with Optimus assuring that the others could reform that Megatron was definitely dead, though via the link of the Oracle, the bonds had shared. However, Megatron was not dead, and the Maximals failed to convince Optimus that they should be giving the sparks to the new body. He worried that it would leave the sparks vulnerable to recapture by Megatron, and they needed to reformat the new Cybertron. With Megatron back in control of the drones and armies, the Maximals soon found themselves siege in a giant head anyway. Rat Trap gambled army. The Maximals soon found themselves under siege in the new giant head anyway. Rat Trap gambled to save Botanica's life, but it backfired, leaving them vulnerable by the drones, who managed to penetrate the head shield. Despite the best efforts of the Maximals, the ship plunged into the ground, but would not be out. The Maximals began preparing their defenses for the Predacon. The shields did not hold up long, and the Maximals found themselves fighting against the hard drone. Outnumbered and overwhelmed, the Maximals used Spark Power's B-Stone on them to let the Oracle and the drone B-Stone of them by the Oracle, decimating the drones, until Megatron took the Oracle from them. Finally, Optimus was confronted by Megatron in a new form, a replica of Primal's very own body, while the Maximals had their own sparks stripped from their bodies. In rage, Optimus struck at Megatron, and the battle raged across the city. As they moved from location to location, Optimus found the bodies of his Maximal friends. Megatron unveiled a huge throne, drawing from all the sparks into himself. Despite Primal's protests, Megatron began reformatting Cybertron's core using the key to Vector Signal. Together, the two enemies plunged into the heart of Cybertron and assured the reformatting the return of the deactivated Technorganic Cybertron. As the surviving Maximals looked over to their new home, Primal and the Oracle spoke to Cheetor, and Primal departed with the words, "Transform and transcend," as his sparks joined with the Matrix. The bot that would one day call himself Optimus Primal was aboard the Axolot, alongside the rest of his original crew, tasked with performing orbital scans of Cybertron. All the while he had put up with teasing from his subordinates, who kept calling him Optimus Prime. The crew surveyed yield, transmitter energy signatures coming from the head of Unicron in the orbit around the planet. Upon then they approached, they detected a whole lot of activity within the satellites. Several units evacuating from the bases. The ship's captain had just enough time to order his crew to activate their shield before the transmitter bomb erupted out of the satellites, and the Axon accidentally came to meet its past. The ship avoided the damage thanks to the shield, and the bomb was detected away from the planet. Some transmitter debris did reach Cybertron, and all were touched by and reduced by the prototype forms. A few of these unfortunate were later entrusted to the crew of the Axolot. Though the Axolot aboard the computers originally suggested that Optimus Prime take on a bat as an alternate mode, he knew such form would be unsuccessful against his enemy Megatron. Optimus chose a more powerful gorilla instead. As Megatron surveyed various events of Beast Wars, he witnessed several key moments involving Optimus Primal. Optimus' duel with the Dinobot and the stone bridge leading to Maximal's base, and the events leading to Optimus transforming into obtain Optimus' new body. Sometime after the depth charge arrived on Earth, Optimus somehow felt the presence of Razor Beasts. Eventually they were displaced. Optimus explained to Rhonex and Cheetor they felt something familiar with them was wrong. Unable to free the presence of Optimus, Rhonex convinced him that he was simply chasing a mere ghost.